Have you ever felt like, no matter how hard you work, you never actually move forward? That month after month, you run, you push yourself, you give your all. And at the end of the day, all you can do is pay the bills and start over? Meanwhile, some people seem to be playing a completely different game. They work on what they love, build great things, and somehow still make billions. Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle, one of the largest tech companies in the world, never worked for money. He didn't wake up thinking about his paycheck. He woke up thinking about winning, dominating, building a legacy. Because early on, he understood something that most people never realize. Money is a side effect, not the goal. And that's exactly what you're going to discover today. How to shift the way you think about work, success, and financial freedom, so you can stop just surviving and finally start building something of your own. And if this kind of conversation resonates with you, if you're tired of living on autopilot, stuck chasing goals that aren't even yours, then subscribe to the channel and hit the like button now. Here, we don't sell shortcuts. We share visions. Visions that can transform not only your bank account, but your entire story. Most people spend their whole lives trapped in a silent cycle. Wake up early, fight traffic, deal with pressure, count the days until payday. And when the money finally comes, it's already gone, committed to bills, debt, obligations. It's like running on a treadmill. You burn energy, you sweat, you get tired, but you don't actually go anywhere. That's called a survival. A mindset, a mental programming that teaches us from a young age to trade time for money, without ever questioning whether that actually leads to freedom. The problem is, when all you do is pay bills, you never build anything that lasts. You live putting out fires with no time to create, plan, or dream. And worst of all, once you get used to it, you start to think it's normal. Normal becomes a prison. An invisible one, but just comfortable enough that you don't want to leave. Right now, there are millions of people with degrees, good salaries, and stable jobs, feeling frustrated, like something's missing. Because it is. What's missing is vision. What's missing is mission. What's missing is direction. What's not missing is routine, obligation, and fear of change. But meanwhile, in a whole different game, played by a few, the logic is completely different. It's not about money. It's about creation. And that's where Larry Ellison comes in. Larry Ellison was born in 1944 in New York and raised by his aunt and uncle in Chicago. His childhood didn't include luxury or security, but it had one thing that shaped his mindset forever: nonconformity. He never fit in, not in school, not in college, not with the idea of working for others. He dropped out of university, moved to another city, jumped from one tech job to another, until he realized one simple thing. He didn't want to work for someone else's money. He wanted to build something so big, so powerful, that money would become inevitable. That's how, at 32, he founded Oracle, a database company built to challenge giants like IBM. But unlike most entrepreneurs, Ellison wasn't driven by security. He wanted to win, to dominate, to prove he could be the best. In several interviews, he repeats the same idea in different words. Money was never the focus. The focus was building the best technology, winning the game. And that's exactly what he did. In just over a decade, Ellison turned Oracle into a global powerhouse. While most people seek stability, he pursued scale. While many fear losing, he feared not growing. That's the big difference. Larry Ellison didn't work out of need. He worked out of vision, out of obsession. Because he knew, when you move with purpose, money follows. And that's where the story changes completely. There's a silent gap between those who work for money and those who work for a mission. The first wakes up every day with a sense of obligation. Pay the bills, provide for the house, maintain the standard. They live for weekends and countdowns to payday. But the second wakes up with a sense of purpose. They know what they're building goes beyond this month. They're not just completing tasks, they're leaving a mark. The money worker seeks security. The mission-driven worker seeks expansion. One fears losing their job. The other fears losing meaning. And don't be fooled. The difference between them isn't how much they make. It's the energy they bring and the vision they carry every day. People like Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, Oprah, Elon Musk. They all have one thing in common. They weren't chasing stability, they were chasing greatness. And that's why money became the result, not the goal. Now let me ask you a simple question. Are you working to survive or to build? Because that answer might change everything. Changing your mindset doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with one decision. Stop living on autopilot. The first step is to ask yourself a question most people never ask. What am I building today that will still exist 10 years from now? If the answer is nothing, you might just be staying busy. The second step is simple but powerful. Start creating something of your own. It can be small, an idea, a side project, a personal brand, a channel, a product, a movement. Something that reflects who you are, not just what you do. Because when you build something that's yours, you break free from the trade of time for money. You start planting, and those who plant consistently harvest with freedom. And the third step? Stop asking, how much will this pay me? Start asking, how will this transform me? Where will this take me? Larry Ellison didn't build Oracle because it paid well. He built it because he couldn't stand the idea of being small. When you shift your focus from money to mission, money becomes a byproduct. And that's when you start playing a completely different game. Working just for money seems safe, until it starts costing you the life you actually want to live. Time passes, the routine consumes you, and before you know it, you've become a prisoner to a salary that pays well, but cages even better. That's what many call the golden handcuffs. You have a decent job, a nice car, a vacation once a year, but you feel exhausted, uninspired, with no time to think bigger. And that's the real risk, getting used to a life that doesn't excite you, just because it pays the bills. In the end, the money you earn won't buy back the time you lost. So ask yourself, how much of your freedom are you selling for safety? Because sometimes the highest price is the one you only realize after it's been paid. Larry Ellison didn't become a billionaire because he worked for money. He became a billionaire because he worked for something bigger than himself. When you build a mission, a legacy, money becomes a detail, and real freedom becomes possible. If this message resonated with you, this channel is your place. Here, we don't promise shortcuts. We share visions that can change your life. So hit subscribe, leave your like, and join us on this journey to build something that truly matters.